Thank you so much for having me. It's a joy to be here. And to be sincere, it's a sacrifice as well for me to be here. I only just went to bed like around 2:30 a.m. And I'm up again at 6 a.m. just to do this because we had a transformational leadership community program where my friend Dr. Nee was speaking, and I was also part of it. So I had to stay awake till we finished. And then, I told him, I said, I have to go. In fact, I didn't finish. I have to go. I have a 6 a.m. one. I have to get up, but it's a joy to be here. Every time I have the opportunity to be here, it's a joy. And I don't take it for granted because I believe very strongly that it is an opportunity to be a blessing to you. So, Wari, thank you very much. In fact, I was speaking somewhere recently and I was mentioning your name, talking about LBD and what you do. It really is very inspiring. And I pray that God will continue to strengthen you. You're not going to be tired. You're not going to be weary. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. I believe that very strongly. All right. Welcome, everyone, once again. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about maximizing your purpose, but the way I've coined it is mastery, a life of intentional living. There is no way you're going to be able to maximize your purpose if you do not develop mastery. All right. And that's what we want to talk about today. And somebody will say, oh, is it possible with my predicament and all of that to be able to develop mastery? Yes, the answer is yes, yes, yes. But before I talk to you about mastery, there's something I want to talk to you about really quickly. And it's the fact that you have a gift. Somebody help me type it out. Say, I have a gift. On another day I will come and speak to you like on a whole scale, talking about your gifts and how God has blessed you with a gift. But I just want to highlight it today, that you have a gift. And what I want to really highlight from it is the fact that there is nobody on the surface of the earth that God has not given a gift. Nobody on the surface of the earth that God has not given a gift. You have a gift. There is something that God has blessed you with that is unique, that is contextual to who you are right now to bless other people with. Let me say that again. There is something that God has blessed you with right now in your life right now that is contextual to who you are, contextual to your situation, contextual to your circumstance, contextual, your disability, that is for you to be able to bless other people with. So that means that God has not allowed anybody to be alive right now who does not have something they can bless somebody with. Is somebody feeling what I'm talking about? That's why we call it a gift. And that gift is so that you too can also give people that gift. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Don't worry, I'll still get the mastery, but I want you to get this. And maybe when next I come, we're going to do a whole session on gifts. How do you even identify that gift? What are you supposed to use the gift for? How do you refine the gift? How do you become? But I just want to introduce that concept today because the Holy Spirit wants me to introduce it. All right. You have a gift. My own gift is the ability to speak. Okay, don't worry, I'll share slides very soon. I'll share another a good slide very soon. All right. But my own gift is my own ability to inspire people. And whenever I open my mouth to speak, people are inspired, people are touched, they are blessed. They go home thinking about their lives, thinking about their purpose, wanting to live a life of meaning. I've been here at LBD. How many of you can remember some of my talks before? I'm sure you can, because it's a gift. It's a gift that God has given to me. All right. I also have a gift of writing. As I'm speaking to you, I'm writing 4 books that will be published next month. 4 books. I'll be launching it next month because next month is when I turn 40. It's my gift. And every single day, this is what I enjoy doing. All right. I was invited to speak somewhere recently, and people were asked to write a comment about how the session was with me, and and the comments were very interesting. Somebody said the only thing the person could write is Dr. Sam is very, 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 very good. He wrote the very like 5 times. That's the only way the person could articulate how the session was. Dr. Sam is very, 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 very good. All right. Another person's wrote Dr. Sam rules. Because that's how people describe your gift. People describe your gift with such awe. You know why? Okay. When next I come, I'll be able to tell more, but let me give you some core reasons here. A gift is not something you strive and try so much to do. It is something you are given to, like given by God to do excellent things with. So if somebody were to wake you up on your sleep now, Bashiru or Rose, if somebody wake you up from sleep and say, hey, come and, like if they wake me up now and say, come and speak to LBD, sincerely speaking, well, I had to prepare for LBD because I want to share something. And I'm telling you, like, for instance, I had prepared something and the Holy Spirit said, talk about gifts, right? But even if I don't prepare, I'm still going to come here and do excellent. You know why? Because it's a gift. Is this making sense to someone? It's a gift. It's a gift. When something is a gift, you don't try too hard. You're going to be doing it and you're going to be enjoying yourself while you're doing it. You're going to be having fun while you're doing it. Anybody ever, let me ask a quick question. Anybody ever watch Messi play? When you watch football and you watch Lionel Messi play, or Cristiano Ronaldo, or the latest sensation now called Lamine Yamal in Barcelona Football Club in Spain. Anybody ever watched these guys play football? You would notice that they do it with so much joy, so much. And some of them will even be smiling. One of my favorite footballer of all time is Ronaldinho. Every time I watch this guy play, I'm in awe. I'm like, what? Like, what? What? In one of my books, there is a way God showed me how to describe gifts, and maybe next time I will come. And God showed me that it's a dimension of himself that he put into man. God's gift is a part of God that he blesses every man with. Every man, every woman. 8 point something billion of us, we share a part of God. God is so big, you can't it's not possible for the whole of God to be inside of any man. No. So what he did is he divided portions of himself into every man. So some of you listening to me right now, you have a portion of God that is photography. When you take great photos, you can tell that, wow, this is a gift. I have the portion of God that is oratory, like when I speak. Maybe Wari has the portion of God, that is speaking as well, because she speaks so amazingly. Or that is leadership based, and the way she coordinates LBD and she coordinates the team and everybody is going well. Maybe that's a portion of God, our own gift. Somebody is watching me right now. You have a gift of making good shoes, or you have a wonderful gift of writing, and you just enjoy it. Some of you have a gift of cooking. Some of you have a gift of persuasion. You can sell anything. You can sell anything. The moment they give you something to sell, even if they just gave it to you, you have not even used the thing. All of a sudden, you're telling people you can do this, you can do that, and before people know it, they've brought money out of their pocket and they've already bought the stuff before they even realize what the thing can do, because it's your own gift. I hope you understand what I mean by gifts now. And I make bold to tell you that you have a gift. There is something you can do at the level of the supernatural. I was talking about the example of Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Lamine Yamal, Ronaldinho recently, just now. Can I ask you a question? And I'll be patient to hear your answers, guys. Just imagine with me that Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi decided that they were going to be nurses or medical doctors. What do you think will happen? Do you think we're still going to know them the way we know them today? Just think about it. Imagine Lionel Messi was a nurse. Imagine Cristiano Ronaldo was a nurse. They didn't play football. Do you think we'll know them the way we know them now? Feel free to answer. Use the chat. Use the chat. Do you think they would inspire anybody? Do you think they'll be a blessing to anybody? Thank you, Alidu. They will not. Thank you, Mashkra. They will not. Timothy, thank you. They will not. And that's the truth. They won't. God gave you your gift so that you can be a blessing to your world. So guess what? Even when you are educating yourself, it's good to educate yourself in the direction of your gifts. Get mentors in the direction of your gifts. Develop mastery in your gifts. Which is what I want to talk about today, mastery. So let me share my slides. Mastery. See, I've come to realize that people respect and honor people who have developed mastery. Mastery of their gift, mastery of their calling. And that's why, listen, it does not matter what you're going through. You have no excuse but to develop mastery of your gifts. Somebody help me type it out. Say, I can and I will develop mastery of my gift. You can develop mastery. Okay? We're going to talk more about mastery soon, today, in the time that I have left. What is mastery? Why is mastery important? What should people who develop mastery do? That's what I want to talk about. But I would talk about it from the perspective of intentionality. Recently, a young man called me. He's in his 30s and early 30s, so I'm slightly older. And he was calling me and was asking me to mentor him. He's trying to move to New Zealand. And I had a conversation with him, and the conversation lasted for about an hour plus. And I was just intentionally just mentoring him, encouraging him, and all of that. And when I was done, he said to me, he said, Dr. Sam, I noticed in this 1 hour conversation that we have had, he said, I noticed that you mentioned intentional or intentionality more than, say, 5 times. He said, I noticed that you mentioned intention or intentionality more than 5 times. And he said, that must be very key to these things that you're talking to me about. And I laughed. I said to him, I said, hey, you're very correct. The reason why most of my talks hinge on intentionality is because, listen, and I want you to write this down. Nobody in life can succeed without being intentional. Nobody. Nobody can succeed without being intentional. The word intentional means that you act in a certain way according to design. You follow the design of life. You know what to do to achieve a certain result. That's intentionality. And you do that thing. Let me say it in the opposite way. People who are not intentional are people who don't know what to do. Or they know what to do, but will never do it. Those are people who are not intentional. But you, that you are intentional, you know what to do, and you are determined to get it done. No matter the challenges you have, no matter the pressures around you, you get things done. Period. Period. I remember somebody was saying, so my wife and I recently left our church, and we left our church because God told us to go start a new church. So when we left, it's been a few weeks when we left, and one of my friends told me, he said, when you left, there were a lot of things that you and your wife, would normally do that most people don't notice, right? But the moment we left, all of a sudden, all of those things became very obvious. You know how, like, let's talk about it. You know how if somebody has been doing something, the way Wari is always available and blessing you guys and being, God forbid, maybe she travels or, and you would notice that somebody, somebody's not there. So that was what happened. All of a sudden, all of those things that we would do behind the scenes to, make the service go on, to, encourage the youth. And all of a sudden, it was very obvious and clear that, these guys are no longer here. And the person speaking told me, the person that was telling us told me, the pastor said that those guys always get things done. Intentional people are people who get things done. Listen to me, guys. You must be people who get things done. Be the kind of person that when people mention your name, when they mention Harrison, when they mention Anthony, when they mention Enoch, when they mention Mashkura, when they mention Samson, when they mention Ruby Rose, then they mention your name. The next thing they mention is, he gets or she gets things done. As a matter of fact, I believe very strongly that intentional people are the people who are making history in our world, people who are breaking records, people who are doing great because it's impossible. If you're not getting things done, you cannot be known for anything. If you're not getting things done, you can't make moves in our generation. If you're not getting things done, people who don't get things done, they are the people who always have an excuse. Yeah, but Sam, the reason why I cannot do anything is because literally I can't do anything. Dr. Sam, the reason why I can't do anything is because people don't like me. Nobody likes me. Dr. Sam, the reason why I can't do anything, can't you see that, my hand isn't working? See, people who are intentional, they don't make any excuses. In fact, they have all the excuses, but they don't make them. Heesh. Somebody say heesh. Help me type heesh in the comment. They have the same excuses that you have. They too can say, oh, Dr. Sam, this, that. But for them, they don't make those, they just don't make it. Excuses have been removed from their dictionary. They just get things done. Thank you, Anthony, for typing H. Yeah, I love it. H. They have the same excuses. They can make the same excuses. But for them, excuses does not exist. Excuse does not exist in their dictionary. You know, some people have make a habit of excuses. Why didn't you do it? It's because I'm doing it. Why didn't you do it? It's because I'm not doing it. Why won't you do it? It's because I am doing it. Hey, people like that will never develop mastery. There was a time I did a study on wonderful, great, successful people, and I realized one thing about them. They are people who don't make excuses. They just don't. And I always believe that there are three kinds of people in life. There are people who make things happen. And there are people who watch things happening. They just watch. They like to watch. What's Dr. Sam doing next? Oh, what's Wari doing next? Oh, what's Enoch going to do next? They just watch other people do things. They watch other people launch their books. They watch other people start their businesses. They watch other people fulfill their dreams and visions. They just watch. And you see them commenting, hey, some people will say, he's so daft. He did it like this. He didn't even do it like that. If I'm the one, I would have done it like that. And the person talking has not done. Do you know anybody like that? Do you know anybody like that? There are many in our world. You go on social media, go on Twitter, go on Facebook, you will see people who are doing nothing. They are the ones that have the most time to to abuse the people who are doing things. You see someone who has not done anything, but full of excuses, be calling the person who has done a lot, be calling them daft. The other day, who is daft between the person who has not done anything and the other day I was on Twitter. I can't remember. I think I was reading a really wonderful write-up by Pastor Delia Shumakinde, one of my mentors. And there was this young guy who made a comment under his post saying, sir, this is rubbish. This is not great. Like someone like he's trying to tell Pastor Delia Shumakinde is what he believes is the right way to do. I was so tempted to go on the guy's profile, and I realized the guy was not doing anything with his own life. And I've realized people who are busy developing mastery, they don't have the time they don't have the time to criticize people. They are busy doing their own thing. They are busy fulfilling their purpose. They are busy fulfilling their calling. They are busy developing developing mastery. They are busy refining their gift. They are busy adding value to people. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? And that you too must be. You must be somebody who wakes up every day and you're asking yourself, how can I add value to people? How can I bless people? How will people's lives become better because I am alive? Somebody help me type out that question and help me write it in your notes if you're taking notes. How will people's lives become better because I am alive? Every single day when you wake up in the morning, the question you're asking is, how can I make somebody's life better today? Thank God for Wari. She woke up this morning and the decision is to make people's lives better. That's why she's doing this conference twice a year. Wow. I was blown away when she said twice a year. How can I wake up? Do you know there are people who also wake up in the morning and they are thinking about how they can destroy people's lives? But I'm very sure that's not you. Because you're an intentional person. And then lastly, there are people who wonder what just happened. There are some people like that. They are not making things happen. They are not even watching things happen. They are just shocked that something has happened. They are not in the game at all. You see these three kind of people in the stadium. Anybody ever been to a stadium to watch a soccer match before? Or maybe a cricket game or rugby game or something? The people who make things happen are the ones playing in the field, the players. Those are the people, they are making things happen. The people who are watching things happen are the spectators. And the people who are outside the stadium, those are the people who wonder what just happened. When you see, when they hear, go! goal. Then they will ask, who scored? because they did not see anything. They just said, goal. They said, who scored? Who scored? Who scored? What happened? Because they're outside the stadium. But those who are inside watching and those who are outside the stadium, they don't get paid. It is those of us who are not the player. We are the ones shouting the most. And have you noticed that those who are listening to this, those who are making things happen, they are the smallest number of people. There are just 22 players on that field. But there are like 80,000, 60,000, 50,000 spectators watching them. Do you even know that people outside of the stadium, they are more? They are like millions. What's my point? The people who are making things happen in our world, they are very small, very few. There are people who have developed mastery. They are very few. I intentionally say we are very few because I'm part of them. I'm part of those who make things happen. And you too must be a part of those who make things happen. We are not many in our world. Some people would rather complain. They would rather make excuses. They would rather abuse people on social media and the keyboard warriors hide behind the keyboard and abuse people, call pastors rubbish name, call leaders bad names. Somebody will have not done anything, but they will criticize how Wari is running this conference now. If only she can do this, then no. People who want to build mastery, they don't have that time. They don't have that time. See, and I've realized that people who are intentional are people who live a life of mastery. People who live a life of mastery. A life of mastery. A life of mastery is a life that is a master at something. So when I look at the root word of mastery, is being a master. The ability to have dominion, to be in control of an area of life, to have intellectual command of a topic or an art. When I was talking to you about gifts the other time, one of the areas you must develop mastery is the area of your gifting. I love to play the keyboard. If I unblur my stuff, you see a keyboard behind me. You see a keyboard stand. Right now this where I am right now is an office space, and I can tell you I have 3 keyboards in this space. I'm talking about the musical instrument keyboard, because I love to play the keyboard. Usually when I'm praying, when I have time alone to pray, I like to play the keyboard, and I'll just be on my keyboard enjoying myself and enjoying my time with God. And sometimes I make my own music. All right. The reason why I talked about that is it's something that I have over time developed mastery in, that I enjoy doing. And I could be talking without looking at the keyboard at all, and I'll just be playing, and I'll just be playing, and I'll just be enjoying myself. I remember somebody asking me the other day, Sam, how do you know how to be able to play and you don't even? No, it wasn't not somebody, it was my kids. How are you playing this beautiful, complex thing, touching all these keys and not looking at it? Because they're still trying to learn. But for me, I'm a master at it. I've been playing it since I don't know, I think it was the year 2000 I started to play. So the year 2000, this is 2025. 25 years ago, I've been playing. And I've developed mastery that I don't have to look at the keyboard, and I'm just playing away. If I knew I was going to use this as an example, I would have set it up and just showed you guys. That's what we call mastery. What can you do with your eyes closed? Let me say that again. What can you do with your eyes closed? What can you do unprepared that you so develop mastery in it that you do it effortlessly? You command the result in that area. But you know the opposite of mastery are people who are impotent, powerless, weak, subservient, inferior. People just surrender to life. Life just happened to them. No, life must not happen to you. You must happen to life. Somebody say, I must happen to life. Yes, you'll be the one that will happen to life because you make things happen. And I can tell you, and I think I've taught you here before, the fact that you have a disability does not make you disadvantaged. No, I don't know if anybody has ever told you that nonsense. Just throw it away like bathwater. You have an advantage. And it is the fact that if you develop mastery despite your disability, the world will listen to you. In fact, your story is more powerful and inspiring to the world because you have been able to overcome adversity to become who you have become. As compared to people who seemingly have everything, yet have done nothing. I'm very sure that a life without mastery is not the life that God wants for you. I am 500% sure. The God's plan for your life is a life of mastery. A life of mastery. Let me give you a small definition. And I got that definition from the Bible, where the Bible talked about in Genesis chapter 8, verse 2, for those of us who are Christians, 22, who are Christians. The Bible says that so long as the earth exists, seed time and harvest time will not cease. And what's the definition of mastery there? Definition of mastery is that people who have developed mastery of anything or of any area of life are those who can determine the outcomes in that area of life. They can determine the outcomes. Mastery is the ability to determine outcomes. In other words, you know what to do to get the kind of outcome that you desire or that you desire. So for my speaking now, I know what to do to help my audience be inspired. That's mastery. But someone who does not have mastery will go, oh my God, they asked me to come and speak at LBD. What am I going to speak about? Oh, what if I speak and nobody understands? What if I speak and nobody is inspired? That's lack of mastery. But somebody who's a master at what they've been asked to do, they don't ask those questions because they are a master. They know what to do to determine outcomes. They know what to do to get the results that they need to get. They simply know what to do. By the way, Wari, let me know how much time I have left so I know how fast I should go. Thank you. And I always say that there is a gap between mystery and mastery. There is a gap. And what's that gap? That gap. By the way, what is mystery? Mystery is when your life lacks mastery. You don't know what to do with your life. This is mystery. You see people just living a life of mystery. Anything goes. Whatever happens is what happens. You know, they don't know how to bring about results in their life. And I'm telling you this. Like I give the example of the stadium. There are just very few people in life who have developed mastery at anything. Majority of people in life, they are not active participators in the dimension of possibilities that is happening in our world. They are like backbenchers. because they've allowed their excuses to outweigh their possibilities. Ish. Don't be one of those who you allow your excuses, your adversity to outweigh what is possible, what can be possible through you. Some people don't even give themselves a chance in life. They just simply conclude that they are useless. You can't do that. Irrespective of your adversity, irrespective of your disability, you are not useless. One thing I am so sure of, and I think I've taught you here before when I talked about purpose the other time, God did not make a mistake creating you. And he still did not make a mistake allowing the things that happen to you to happen to you. He has a purpose for it. So now what you are going to do is to do something about it. And what you must do is to develop mastery. Mastery of your gift. Mastery of your calling. Mastery of your purpose. Be a master at something. Have an area of life where you command the outcomes. You know what to do in engineering to command the outcomes that you need. You know what to do as a speaker to command the outcomes that you need. You know what to do as a marketer to command the outcomes that you need. You know what to do as a writer, an author to command the outcomes that you need. You know what, that's mastery. Can I tell you for a fact, somebody listening to me, it takes years to develop mastery. And it takes intentionality to develop mastery. Nobody developed mastery by accident. Have you ever seen a master at something? Who told you? You ask them and say, "Excuse me, sir, how did you become what you become?" And the person said, "Oh, Adebayo, even I am not sure. I just became it." Have you ever met anybody? No. I have an example. There was a man. He's late now in New Zealand. His name is Sir Edmund Hillary. You can Google him. Sir Edmund Hillary is the first man to climb Mount Everest. Right, Mount Everest, and he's very popular in New Zealand, even though he's late now. He's one of our major icons in New Zealand. I live in New Zealand, by the way, New Zealand. Okay, and Sir Edmund Hillary is very respected because he was the first man to climb Mount Everest, and he came from New Zealand, so everybody respects, him. And in fact, his picture is in one of our money, one of our currencies. And they said when he finished climbing Mount Everest, one of the reporters, journalists, went to him and asked him, and they said, "Simon, how did you do it? How did you do it?" And the reporter said, "The reporter, you know how reporters are, right?" So they asked him, said, "Sir, how did you climb Mount Everest? How did you do it? Did you just find yourself there?" Did you just appear there? And they said, according to report, they said, Sir Edmund said, nobody has ever gotten to the summit of a mountain by just finding themselves there. Nobody. Like, imagine you see somebody on the top of a mountain, and the person told you, I don't even know how I got here. I just got here. like even me, I'm shocked. No, life does not work that way. Nobody is shocked by mastery. Mastery happens intentionally. And it starts by putting away all your excuses. That's what it starts with. You've put away all your excuses and you get your hands dirty. You go to work. You start to do something. If you don't have hands, you do it with your legs. If you don't have legs, you do it with your brain. If you don't have, whatever you want, you have some. That's why I started with that. You have a gift. There is something you have. Somebody have been typing out. Say, there is something I have. There is something. Life has nothing to do with what you don't have. God did not design your success with what you don't have. He knows you don't have it, so he's not a wicked God. He designed your success to fit into what you have. I wish I had time. I would have preached to you guys. Every single person that I know that succeeded, it was not what they did not have that made them succeed. It was that little, that's one thing, that one small, tiny, insignificant something that they thought was too small or too insignificant was that thing that eventually backed their success. There is something you have. There is something. And if you're going to live a life of mastery, you must find that thing and you must begin to develop mastery of that thing. And what do I mean by mastery? You wake up every day to do that thing. Every day. You gain wisdom. You gain knowledge. You gain understanding of that thing. You want to know every single thing. If your own is playing the piano, like I gave the example of playing the piano, you read books, you watch YouTube stuff, you listen to podcasts, you have a mentor. You are doing every single thing to develop mastery. But most people, they know this is their gift, but they would rather be living a life of excuses and excuses and excuses and excuses and excuses and excuses. And I cannot do it, and I cannot. And guess what? 10 years after, they've not done anything. People who give excuses, they only stand still all their life. They only stand in one position all their life. They don't move. Why aren't you moving? Because I cannot move. Let me tell you my story. I want to tell you my story. How did I get here? When I got clarity of what my purpose was, and I got clarity that my speaking and my writing is a gift. I remember my very first coach then. His name was Grant Baldwin. Grant Baldwin is a speaker coach, right? And he's still doing very well today. He was the one that I learned from. And he said, Sam, you must develop mastery of your gifts. He says, I want you to, and I remember what he said then. He said, I want you to, for now, pack all the other things that you know how to do. And I just want you to focus on your speaking and your writing for the next 5 years. That was what he told me. I want you to focus like a laser beam on your speaking and your writing. He said, until you develop mastery, until you come to a place where you can close your eyes and speak, you can close your eyes and write, you can close your eyes and inspire people. That was what he told me. He said, you do it every day, like it's the air that you breathe. You learn it, you practice it. And sincerely, when he was telling me this was the year 2016. When he was telling me this, I did not know. Nobody was listening to me. Nobody knew me. Nobody was inviting me. You know, like the way Y is inviting me to come and speak at the LBD. Nobody was inviting me to anywhere. Nobody knew me. And guess what? The only way they will know me is if I develop mastery. Because listen to this, everybody. Never forget this that I'm about to share with you. In everybody's life, there will come a time where heaven will deem you ready for specific and unique opportunities that if you have not developed mastery, you will miss those lifetime opportunities. You know how they say that opportunities come but once? Well, it's not true. Opportunity comes a lot. But the problem with many people is opportunities will come and will meet them not ready. That is the danger. The best way to succeed is that opportunities come and meet you ready. It is better for opportunities to come and meet you ready than for opportunities to come and you are not ready. The story of our world is there are so many people who are being met with opportunities today, but they are not ready. They've not developed mastery at anything. Like the way you are now, there are some of you, if they give you $1 million today, you will just use it to eat and die after. There's nothing to put that $1 million into. There is nothing you have developed mastery in. There is no business that you have started. There is no craft that you're working on. There is nothing in particular that you can use that 1 million to multiply. All the ideas that you have received all many years, you keep throwing the ideas away. These ideas are for people like Y and people like Dr. Sam and people like Anthony and people like, it's not for people like us. So who are the people like you? No. Who are the people like you? Stop counting yourself amongst some people thinking you are disadvantaged. No, I've told you, you are not disadvantaged. People like you are people who succeed. Somebody say amen to that. People like you are people who do well. People like you are people who bless their world, who add value to their. Yes, say that people like us, we bless people. People like us, we are amazing. People like us, we are rich. People like us, because the way some people have a way of counting themselves amongst the disadvantaged, don't ever use that language for yourself again, because it does something to your psychology. It starts to make you live a life of excuses. You see people like us like this now. Nobody care for us. Nobody love us. They just hate us. They don't even like us. They don't even know we exist. Like people like us. No. You must have a mindset change. People like us, we make things happen. People like us, we develop mastery. Yes, we may be what's it called? I love how the Bible puts it. It said we may be persecuted on every side, struck down, but we are not destroyed. We may be pressed, we may be crushed, but we are not destroyed. We may be struck down, we are not abandoned. If you're going to develop mastery, you must make knowledge and understanding and wisdom your friend, especially in that area of your gifting. If your gift is to speak, every day you speak. Oh, I was telling you my story. I forgot to finish it. Do you know, ever since that 2016, to the glory of God, I remember one of the things my coaches told me. He said, look in front of the mirror every day and speak for 5 minutes without looking at any notes. What? I'd never done that before. So I started to practice it. You remember I told you nobody was inviting me, so nobody knew me. So it was me and my mirror. But I know somebody, if they ask somebody to do it now, they say, oh, why would I be speaking to the mirror? Do mirrors have ears? How would the mirror even give me feedback? How would I know if I'm doing it well? Those are excuses. So if you're a speaker, I'm passing the same thing my coach passed to me, to you. Speak in front of the mirror. Start with 5 minutes. So I remember that time, I'll just speak, I'll pick a topic, maybe I'll pick a topic like vision, and I'll just speak for like 5 minutes. I'll pick a topic like mastery, I'll speak for like 5 minutes. Sometimes I can't even do up to 5 minutes. By the time I'm like, I think I'll just do like 1 minute. Sometimes I'm like, this thing is so hard. But do you know? Oh yeah, thank you. Noted. Do you know, out of that one day, 1 minute was not enough for me. Before I know it, I was able to do that 5 minutes. Before I know it, 5 minutes was not enough. Before I know it, I could do 10. I could do 10 minutes. And I was so excited. I was like, what? In fact, I went to Grant one time. I said, and Grant, because he said I should do 5 minutes. I said, now I can do 10. And I mentioned the topics I could do 10 in. And before I knew it, I could do 15. I could do 20. I could do, now, I promise you, I can do 3 hours. It is you that will be tired. Me, I won't be tired. And I will still be making sense. That's what we call mastery. That's what we call mastery. I remember I was speaking to a group of people recently. This group of people, none of them was African. None of them. All right. And there was this 60 plus year old man who listened. And he didn't say it to me. He said it to the convener, the person who invited me, because it happened here in New Zealand. And the person said, I could listen to Dr. Sam all day. So the person asked the convener, he said, is there where he speaks regularly? And the woman told him, he said, yes, he has a church. He's a pastor of a church. Do you know that guy is coming to my church today? He said, because he said, I could listen to this guy. I just love how he speaks. But nobody knew that that whole thing started in front of the mirror when I struggled with 1 minute, 2 minutes. Only you know now because I'm telling you this. I'm telling you the story. And those who have told the story. But that's where it started. No excuses. No excuses. I just wake up and I'll do it. I'll wake up. I'll do it. Do you know that after 1 year, listen to this, after 1 year, I developed over 200 messages on my iPad because I was speaking in front of them. I did not know that part of practicing, part of doing that was helping me develop the things to speak about. I developed over 200. Do you know exactly 1 year after doing that, exactly 1 year, God spoke to me and he said, I want you to be doing videos every month and every week. I remember I was scared at first, like, what? How in the world? Where will I get the topic? And then I remembered that I have the topics. Oh, somebody is not getting me. Let me explain what I just said. I want to make it clear to you. If you live a life of excuses, you will not be able to enter into the next level of your life because the next level of your life is dependent on the current level you are in. So if you're not developing mastery in the current level you're in, the next level of your life does not have an inroad into your life. So if I had not been practicing in front of the mirror and developing those speeches and those topics, then when God said, start making videos every week, I will have nothing to make. I'll be scared. I'll be worried. What would I speak? What would I say? Where will I have the topic? Do you know? Listen, oh my God. Do you know that was how I started making videos? I started making, if you go on my Facebook or you go on my YouTube, you see those videos. I made over 300 of them before I stopped. In other words, I did it for more than 3 years. Or even 4, 2017 to about 2022. Yeah. Making videos every week. Every Mondays, I release the videos. Do you know my first video? Wait, let me see if I can find it. It will take me a while to find it. I would have loved to show you my video. My neck was very lean like this. And this is how my this is how my cheek was, you know. But I did it like that. In fact, I didn't have a tripod stand, so I packed books. You'll be shocked, but if you see the video, you'll be. I wish I could show you this video, but it would take me almost like 3, 4, 5 minutes to find it. you will not know that the whole my phone that I was using to record then was put beside a pile of books, put behind a pile of books as my stand. Somebody will say, Dr. Sam, I want to make videos, but I don't have a tripod. I'm waiting so I can buy a tripod. Excuse me, sir. You will wait, though. You will wait. And hopefully one day you will be able to buy the tripod. Start with what you have. People who develop mastery, they don't start with what they don't have. They start with what they have. So start with what you have and start where you are. Dr. Sam, I'm processing my trip, my going to Canada. When I get to Canada, I will start. My brother, my sister, let me tell you this. When you get to Canada, you will not start. Start now. I'm about to turn 40. I'll wait. When I turn 40, that's when I will start. I've planned it. From 40 years old, I'll be serious with my life. Start now at 39.8 years. It's okay. Don't wait till you are 40. You know, there's some people, is that those years with zero at the back, that's when they feel like that's when that thing would not pump energy into their, it is not like that. Some people even say life begins at 40. It's a lie. If your life did not begin before 40, life will there is no automatic thing that kicks into your life when you turn 40. No, in fact, can I shock you? Is when you turn 40, your energy has dwindled a bit. So all these things that people say, and we take them like, no, start now. Okay, let me finish. Let me conclude with this. People who develop mastery are people who always ask themselves 4 questions. Like I told you my story. In fact, I've not finished the story. And I cannot finish the story because it's my story and it's still continuing. But do you know 1 year after doing those videos, 1 year after, I did it for 12 months. Remember, I was speaking in front of the mirror for 12 months. No. Let me tell you one. You know when after I spoke in front of the mirror for like I think 3 months. I think it was just 3 months. Something happened. Guys, I want you to listen to this. This will really, really, really bless you. This will really help you. After about 3 months, my pastor, the pastor of my church, they paid for a radio show for our church, all right, as a way of driving publicity to the church. And they paid for a whole year, right? But it wasn't me they paid for because nobody knew me as a speaker. I was not, at that time, I was not speaking anything. Okay. The only thing I was doing in the church was to play keyboard. Sincerely speaking, I was not even teaching Bible study. I was not teaching anything. Nobody knew me as a speaker at the time because I had not gotten clarity of my full purpose yet. I was still practicing in front of my mirror. Listen to this. But I remember when I got clarity of my purpose, I told my pastor, about it. 3 months into practicing in front of the mirror, the person who was running the radio show, right, all of a sudden said, they're busy. They cannot do it again. That's what the person said, that they are busy now. They cannot do it again. They don't have the time and all of that. And all of a sudden, guess who my pastor called? My pastor just said, "Hi, Samuel. So said they cannot do the radio show again. I was wondering if you're able to do it now every week." Hey! Somebody say, hey. Somebody say, hey. Before, I would have said, no, sir, I can't do it. I don't know what to say. I have no topic. I have nothing. How would I show up every week? I'm be teaching every week. Where will I get it from? Do you know that because I've been doing that thing for 3 months at the time, my practice started with 1 minute, 5 minutes. At that time, I think I had developed up to about 20 minutes and the radio show was about 30 minutes. So I would go to the radio. I remember my first day at the radio, I was nervous. Sincerely, I was very nervous. I was so nervous. I didn't know. I didn't know. I was shaking at the start. But do you know, by the time I did it, the first week, second week, third week, I became so, I became so confident. And that was how I did that radio show, I think for another 6 months, nonstop every week. And by the time after that time, 1 year after, I told you, I already had over 200 messages. So when I started the video, I made the video for another 1 year. After 1 year, that was how I started getting invitations to come and speak. Because people had been listening to me on radio and they've also been watching my videos on social media. People started calling me to different countries of the world to come and preach. Literally, there was not once, more than at least 2-3 times. There were times people will call me, right? And the person who invited me to come and speak in their country had never met me before. They only saw me on social media. And literally, they'll be saying to their audience, they'll be saying to the audience of their conference or audience of their church that they come into, they'll be saying, the same way you're meeting Dr. Sam for the first time, I'm also meeting him for the first time. Can you imagine that? Somebody say mastery. Help me type it out. Say mastery. Let me quickly finish. See, people who develop mastery always ask themselves 4 questions. And I don't want you to forget this 4 questions. Number 1 question. They always ask themselves, what do I really want? And that means, what's my purpose? What's my gift? What's my calling? What are my objectives in life? What's my vision? What's my dream? What's that thing that I want to be known for? What's that thing I want to be great at? What do I have? Not what I don't have. Remember what I said at the beginning. You can't develop mastery in what you don't have. You can only develop mastery in what you have. And you have something. You have something. So what do I really want? Some people are afraid to ask this question because they don't know what they want. For you, don't let that be you. You must know what you want. You must know your purpose. You must know your gifts. You must know your calling. Number two, you must ask yourself this question: what will it cost me? What will it cost me? The first question, somebody help me type out the first question. What do I really want? Second question, what will it cost me? These are very powerful questions. Because listen, there's a price to pay for mastery. Remember how I told you that every single day I was practicing. I remember in some of those practices, there are times I was frustrated with myself. Like, how can I not be able to speak? How? But I knew it was practice that it would take. It was going to take time. There's a price to pay. It was going to take me embarrassing myself in front of the mirror, But guess what? It's better to embarrass yourself in front of the mirror while you're alone than to embarrass yourself in front of a lot of people. But it starts there where nobody sees. Nobody see you in front of the mirror. Nobody saw me. Nobody knew me. I remember only my wife would see me then in front of the mirror, and she would say, "Go on, baby, go on." Thank God for people in our lives who encourage us. She won't laugh at me, even when I make mistakes. I remember there was a time I was training my sons, my boys. I was training them how to speak. They wanted to learn how to speak like me. Obviously, they were saying, "Dad, how can we speak like you? We love the way you speak." So I was training them, no, how to speak in front of the camera. Yeah, and a few times they would make a mistake. They would make mistakes and they would laugh at themselves, and I would laugh along with them as well. They say, "Dad, this is hard." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is." But with practice, it gets better. Do you know right now? They don't need me anymore. We just set up the camera for them and they go and speak. Because they've been doing it since the age of 3. The other day, my son went for a chess competition. How many of you know chess? CHESS, the chess game. And he went for the competition and it was part of the top 4. He did very well. And his teacher came to me and said, like, how long has he been playing? And I told the teacher, I said, I've been teaching the 2 boys. The 2 boys were in the competition. So my first son was in the top 4. My second son was in the top 12, top 15-ish. There are over 70, 80 students in the room. So you can tell, that they were a bit higher above the rest. So the teacher was asking me, how long have I been teaching them? I said, since the first one was age 3, that I've been teaching them how to play chess because I love to play chess. It's one of the things I do in my pastime. And I devote hours of mastery into it. It's one of those things that I really want to be good at. Because by the way, the reason why I play chess is because it helps me to sustain focus. I learned that art of focus through chess. If you distract me in chess, I'll lose the game. But if I can stay focused, I'll most likely win. Of course, unless I'm unless I'm playing one of those world champions or grandmasters. But if I stay focused, I will do well. So that's why I play chess, because it helps me to learn focus, the art of focus. So when I told the teacher, I said, since the age of 3, the teacher was stunned. But by the time they were done with the competition, he was not surprised. He said, wow. Wow. And my 2 boys were the only black boys in the room. I told you the other time that there were about 70, 80 kids in the room. They were the 2 black boys in the room. Everybody else were of other races. Listen, you 2 can be the only unique person amongst many if you would develop mastery. there's a price to pay. And that part of that price, will cost you something. Nothing in life is free. It's costing somebody something. Sincerely. If they give it to you for free, like, why just say, oh, guys, this conference is free, nobody should pay anything? It's costing. Why? He's probably paying something. To the glory of God, ever since I've been speaking at LBD, why would come back and still give me something? Some of you will have no idea about what she would give, but she will still bless us with something. She will still say, oh, thank you, sir, for coming. It's costing her something. So nobody is free, and you take it for granted. It's costing somebody something. In Christendom, we normally say salvation is free. No, salvation is not free. Jesus died. Somebody had to die. Nothing is free. Somebody paid the price for it. That you got it free does not mean it's free. So ask yourself, what will it cost me? What price do I have to pay? And number 3, ask yourself, am I willing to pay the price? Am I willing to speak in front of the mirror for a whole year with nobody knowing me, with nobody inviting me? To look stupid in front of the mirror every single day, as if I'm preparing for an opportunity that will never come. Am I willing to do it? Am I willing to do it? And you must ask yourself that. Am I willing to make shoes for people and they will criticize it? Am I willing, whatever it is that your gift is or your calling is, am I willing to do it? And people will ridicule it, they will criticize, they will do. Am I willing to do it? You have to be willing. Your answer to that question must be yes. Otherwise, you're not ready. And lastly, when do I start paying the price? When do I start paying that price? So if you're willing, when do you want to start? Some people will say, when I turn 40. I've given you examples. Some people say, when I get married, when I have children. I've never met anybody who said they will start something when they get married. Listen to this. And they could have started before they got married and now started that thing after they got married. I'm yet to find that person. Go and ask. Something that you cannot do when you are single. When you have time, nobody is disturbing you. Nobody is bothering you. You're not waking up to cook for somebody or waking up to go to work so that you can feed the family. That time you didn't start then. It's now when you when you have mouths to feed. That's when you say you now have time. I'm sorry. Life does not work that way. Your answer to this question must be now. Somebody say now. Help me type it out. Everybody in the room, type now. If you're able to type now. 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 That must be your answer. When do you want to start developing mastery? Now. When are you going to start that business? Now. When are you going to start your training? You're speaking in front of the mirror. Now. When are you going to start practicing? Now. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, that's where I will stop today. Those are the 4 questions you must ask yourself. Remember, you have something. You have something. You have something. If only you would pay the price. To the glory of God, ever since those days, that time, people have been inviting me almost every single day. I speak minimum of at least 5 times every week. And I'm not joking. And I'm not even there yet. I'm still just, sincerely, I know of friends who speak minimum of 2-3 times per day. Per day. So me, that I'm still saying 4 times a week, 5 times a week, I'm still joking beside those people. I speak about 300 times a year. I know of friends who speak about 500 times a year. Let me mention one name, and you can Google him. His name is Pastor Daniel Olawande. He's only 31 or 32 years old. Mastery. Mastery. Why? Over to you. I hope this has challenged you. I hope this has encouraged you to know that you have something. You have something. Don't give in to your excuses. No, 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 no. You have something. You have something. You can develop mastery of that thing. And that's why I told you my own story. Today, right now, I've written over 10 books. And I told you I'm launching 4 more. So by June 28th, I would have written 15 books. Yeah, Anthony, I love that. You need to define your purpose. Define what you want. Pay the price for it. Be willing to pay it and start paying it now. Worry, over to you. God bless you.
Wow. Wow, wow. Let me spotlight myself. Just a minute. Add spotlight. Great. Whoa, what a day. What a time. Thank you so, so much, sir. I truly appreciate this. Wow, you have said a lot. I don't even know where to start from, but I know we all got the message. And you kept on talking about me. I'm like, Dr. Sam, hide me now. Hide me. But thank you so much. You said everything, that both the ones I didn't want to say, the ones that was necessary to say. There's always a backstage to everything that comes out excellent. There's always a backstage to every price that we get to pay, and there's also a reward at the end, whether now or in the future, for whatever effort we put in. So thank you so much, sir. Sir, before you leave, I've already yeah, thank you again. I know you are supposed to go to church. I understand that. At the same time, um I've already taken the group photo, which we usually do all the time. I did that when a lot of people were here. But before you leave, I want to thank you again for being here, and I also want to tell you that I've written 2 books. Yes, I've written the 2 books in a space of 8 months. Kudos to my coach and to you as well. So we're following your footsteps. So when you said you have written 10 books, I'm like, okay, I'm almost getting there. I'm almost getting there. We'll soon get there.
I'm
That's
so proud of you, Ari. I'm
yeah,
so
thank you so
proud of
much.
you. That's amazing.
Yes,
That's
thank
amazing.
you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. So and that's another thing, studying the life of great people. I studied your life and so many other people's life, like, okay, what do they do? And I discovered that they have written something, they have a book, and they speak. I said, okay, let me start from somewhere. And I believe it's an
Yes.
encouragement to everyone that is here as well to start
Mhm.
somewhere. And we are still coming, but it's an encouragement for everybody.
Yes.
So thank
Yes.
you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Sam. Before you leave, I would just like you to say, because you use this your slide, so it will come out like presentation. But I'll just like to say a short word in about 5 minutes. I'm going to
Okay.
take myself out. It's just like for you to summarize everything without the
Okay.
slides from the
Okay.
beginning to the end. You can put people with disabilities, our names, people with disabilities, LBD, but about 4 5 minutes. Over to you, sir.
All right. Nobody in life is truly at a disadvantage. Nobody. No matter your challenges, no matter what you've gone through, no matter your background, no matter your disability, no matter your upbringing, you are at an advantage because you have something that most people do not have, something that is unique to you, unique to your context, unique to your adversity, unique to your even your disabilities. And I make bold to say that. There's nobody that God has created and has not given them something to run with. There is something that you have that can transform not just your life, but the life of others. You have a gift. You have a unique ability to make things happen. That's what I call your gift. God cuts out portions of himself to bless every single human being on the surface of the earth. Whether you are a woman or you are a man, there is a portion and a dimension of God that you carry to bless your generation with. A portion and a dimension. So, in other words, there's a dimension of God that is musical. You possibly carry that. There's a dimension of God that is salesy. If you notice that you can sell anything to anybody, that's a dimension of it's a gift. It is something that they will wake you up in the morning to do, even without you preparing. You would effortlessly and joyfully do it in such a way that you will bless lives with it. Now, by the time you're done, people will go, wow, wow. But I don't want you to stop there. I want you to develop that thing, build mastery of it. To be a master at something is to be able to command outcomes. In other words, you know the very things to do with that thing to be able to generate the kind of outcomes that you want. In other words, if you want to generate money out of that thing, you know the very things to do to make money out of it. If you want to inspire people with it, you know the very things to do to inspire. In other words, you are able to generate the outcomes that you desire. And I always say that there is a gap between wherever it is that you are now with that thing and the mastery level of it. That gap is knowledge, understanding, and practice. In other words, you do every single thing to learn all that you can about that thing, and you learn like you breathe. I always say that you must become a student of your gift. And what does that mean? Every book you can find on it, you get. Anything has been written on it, you get. Any podcast that has been written on it, you get. Any YouTube channel you can find on it, you subscribe. You find mentors, coaches, people who have gone ahead of you, people who have done one thing or the other in that area, and they, and they will bless you. When I started speaking, I got a coach, and that was where I learned how to start practicing in front of the mirror. When nobody knew me, when nobody was calling me to come and speak anywhere, and he said, "Hey, speak in front of the mirror for 5 minutes every day." And I remember when I started, 5 minutes was so hard. It was tough. I remember speaking for 1 minute. I'm like, what? I don't think I'm going to do this again tomorrow. But guess what? I was back there the next day. And I would write out topics and I would write out things. And I did that for 1 year straight. And by the end of the 1 year, I already have over 200, topics that I could speak on my iPad. Well, I didn't have an iPad then, on my phone, on my iCloud. Do you know exactly 1 year after was when I got my first invitation to speak outside of New Zealand, international, paid? And after that, I started making videos. After that, people started calling me everywhere. Listen, nobody becomes a master giving excuses. Nobody. Even if you are hearing impaired, you still have a gift. Something you can do with your hands. Something you can do with your brain, with your mind. Nobody that God has left destitute. You have something. And there are 4 questions people who are looking to develop mastery always ask themselves. Number 1, what do I really want? What's my purpose? What's my gift? What's my vision? What am I called to do? That's question number 1. Question number 2, what price do I have to pay? What will it cost me to do this thing? What will it cost me to practice every day for 1 hour? What will it cost me to do this thing every single day? What will it cost me to become master of this thing? What will it cost me? And number 3, am I willing to pay that price? Am I willing to pay the price? Because some people may not be willing. They would rather choose to stay with their excuses. And guess what? 10 years later, they're still in the same position. Let that not be you. And lastly, when do I want to start paying that price? And the answer to that question for anybody who's serious with their lives is now. Now. And guess what? If you have that mindset to start now, you can start today. And I promise you in the next 5 to 10 years, your life would not be the same again. You become a blessing to your world. I hope this has blessed you. Thank you for having me.